My name is Keishla Pettit, and today I am going to share duplex financing with you. This is the quick and dirty version. If you want more details than what's covered here, check out the link in the description box. In March 2022, my husband and I completed a project that we wanted to try for a while to build rental properties from the ground up. We built 2 duplexes. It was a great addition to our small portfolio and added 4 more doors to our property management responsibilities, something I didn't fully understand the implications of when we initiated the project. I can honestly say this was by far the most exciting work project that I've ever had the privilege of experiencing. It is great fun to watch something go from mental concept to paper to 3D. I also enjoyed working with my hands, so I got to do a little of that too. And I'll share more about that journey here. I welcome your questions and your experiences. I want to start at the very beginning, and the very beginning would likely be the land. In this case, we already own the land, so there was no search or purchase required. And this fact does figure into financing, and I'll tell you more about that shortly. Note that this property was not platted for 2 structures. It was approximately 100 by 100 feet, so 10,000 square feet or about a quarter of an acre. Our credit score was excellent, high 7s, low 8s, and I think our debt ratio might be considered moderate to high. Some of the documents that we were required to provide to our loan officer initially included deed to this property, a survey, a recent paycheck stub, plans and specifications, cost budget, and driver's license. We expressed to our loan officer that we were interested in putting this loan in our business name, and this caused additional document requirements. Among these were our EIN, or our employee identification number. This is issued by the IRS. It's free, but that was required. We also had to provide our DBA, or doing business as. This is a county document that just identifies our business name and that we're doing business under that name. Then we provided our LLC certificate of formation and the corporate bylaws and the meeting minutes that identified us as members of that board. We also had to produce a W-2 or proof of income. And we had to submit the contract with our builder. Now, we did partner with a general contractor for this job. It was not a large company, but it was someone that we knew and we trusted and who'd had previous experience building before. We were heavily involved, but we really relied on his expertise for scheduling, for like inspection and permitting requirements, and then general construction knowledge. So we were very grateful to have him along on this journey. The bank also required our builder to provide 2 references, and they did call those references. When we initially approached our loan officer, we did not have full architectural plans. We just had some generic plans. I mean, these things were really rough. Shortly after speaking with the loan officer, we started working with our architect, who provided us with the following plans and specifications that were eventually submitted to our loan officer. And these plans included our site plan, the floor and elevations, electrical plan, the foundation plan, the ceiling and roof plan, general notes and specifications, and then a materials quote. That's what he provided us. The last step in approving our loan was an appraisal. The appraisal delayed our loan process by weeks. They were extremely busy. They were running behind. I'll mention that the cost of the appraisal was $650, and that was included with closing fees. The appraisal value for one of the structures, because we only financed one of the structures, was $190,000, and we paid for the other. We were getting them built at the same time. We thought we would really save costs if we were able to do that other one, and we were able to fit in the other one, but the appraisal value was approximately $190,000 for one structure, which is 3-bedroom, 2 baths, and they were able to extend us a loan based on that appraisal of $165,750. So that was an 85% loan to value ratio that they used for that. And this meant that we were required to have approximately $24,250 for closing. Now, remember I talked about the value of the land coming into play. Since our land was already owned, they typically take the value of that land and they decrease, like give you credit for it. So if our land had been valued highly, we wouldn't have had to bring that much to closing. We would have been able to bring less. We did try to dispute the appraisal of the land value because we know that a land of similar property just around our property had sold for 2 to 3 times more. However, again, that appraisal company was so delayed and it was delaying the process even further. We wanted to get started that we went ahead and accepted that lower land appraisal just to move the ball forward. But you definitely want to get full value for your property when you're getting a construction loan. So that's something I would probably pound on a little harder given the next time. Now, so here's like a general timeline. We did close the loan after the appraisal was complete and they made us an offer. And it was approximately 6 months after our initial contact with our loan officer until we closed the loan. There was an immediate draw available to us of $10,000 to get started. And this was really just reimbursement for costs that we had already spent. So our plans, the materials for soil and prepping the foundation, they were able to give us to that immediately without us having to show anything. They made that available to us. So just a few final notes that I'd like to share with you. I didn't necessarily include them in the presentation, but just want to mention them as they might be helpful to anyone who is considering going through this process. And that is that we took 8 advances. Those advances, I think, were about $85 each, and we took 8. Of course, you want to take as little as possible, but depending on how much money of your own cash that you have available to go through before you require an advance, that kind of determines how many draws you'll make, because you'll spend and then you'll make a draw and they'll replenish that and it goes on and on. I would definitely recommend that you have an initial amount of at least $50,000 available to make your payments for the draw, at least $50,000 available. Now, every time that we finished a certain amount of items from our draw schedule, we would let them know we finished these items. They would send an inspector out, usually within a day. Once that inspector completes his inspection, he lets them know, yes, these are complete. And then they would pay the percentages that are associated with those activities. And they would, once they're approved, they would send documents for signature by us and by our contractor saying that the work had been done and there were no outstanding bills. And then they would wire that money into our account, and we were able to start the process over again. Also, we did have to secure builder's risk insurance, which cost us $879.27 for 4 months. And so we got it in August. That's when we acquired it, and it was over in December was when the policy ended. And we did go ahead and renew just as a regular homeowner policy because the external shell of the property was done and we were really just working on the inside. And so we just changed it over to a homeowners insurance policy at the December mark, which was cheaper because you're looking at an annual rate, and that was acceptable to our loan officer as well. And so that is the process. If you have any questions, I would love for you to leave them here for me in the comments. I am creating a space where there is way more detail. Like you can actually see some of the documents that we use, the draw schedule. You can look at our plans, and I share just more details. If you are interested in taking a look at that, be sure to check the link in my bio in the description box for that more detailed look at all of our process. And so thank you. I hope this is helpful to you and have a great day. Happy building.